I am Varric Nilo, Nightbreeze in common tongue. A wood elf born in the city of Luck, or Marthal. But luck hasn't been on my side before. Well, that's until I met Arissa. But that's a story for a different time. I was left to survive on my own, left behind, in the forest of Iba. Ha! The forest of the dead, you mean? It shaped me to be the way I am. I fight to save my life. I hunt to eat. I steal if needed. And I demand of life to give me what I need, or what I want. Some call me reckless, or a loose cannon, but I'll always protect those who need it. In the end, life's about standing up for yourself, for those who can't. My leather armor, the scarf around my face, the hood on my head, those are my closest friends, and together we'll face any challenge life throws our way.
That's how everyone giggled at the same time then, that was magical.
Now you have your sound sync.
Dancey! Woohoo! Alright, so welcome everybody to Blunders and Bothwellians, the Wounded Witch edition, the Tuesday Party, episode 6. We're on episode 6, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Survived.
You all survived this far, it's all magical. Everyone's amazed, really. It's been quite good, actually. It's been quite good. There we go. Alright. So, ha ha ha, yes, says Varric in the chat. Episode 6, level 3, bitches. Yep.
Pew pew!
Sounds about right. Pew pew! So, currently this episode, as far as we're aware, Ridu and Swanee are still reading in the tavern. So we're going to leave them there for the meantime, and if you guys decide to leave or go anywhere or get taken anywhere, just covering your options here, they will come with you, but not in a combat stance. Sound good to everybody?
Cool.
Good to me.
Sweet! Everyone's like, no, just get on with it. Don't care. Leave me alone, it's fine. If you are listening, guys, you do get a +1 to your history now for your Borsin knowledge because of how long you spent reading it. So, marvellous. Okay, so, to recap, you are still in the town of Stock, in the country of Borsin. You are now waking up in the tavern Respite, having slept after a nighttime stroll where you once again broke into the leader's house with the blue front door. They're laughing because they've done it about, 3 times now? It's getting ridiculous.
We need to start leaving calling cards.
I know that house better than I know my own house.
He does. And he got to explore all the levels this time.
Yeah.
Yay.
He's very excited. So, in this house of the 2 leaders, Mostal and Leeth, you found empty safes, their judgment chamber, where people in the town are brought before them for judgment, or to be sent on to the capital for further judgment, or to be pressed charges against. You were almost discovered by the lady Leeth Monroe as she came back late in the evening. However, you hid yourselves spectacularly in a bathroom and avoided detection. Meanwhile, the ever so stealthy tiefling, whilst playing his guitar, hung around outside the garden fence and distracted the guards beautifully. Mostly, he distracted the guards from remembering that one of your parties still owes them a story about pigs. Looking at you, Arissa. Jensen is very sad to have not had his pig story yet. I do like pigs, he said. On your way out of the house, you discovered a half-burnt-out red candle with black wax. A black wick, sorry. Red wax, black wick. There we go. And it was sat in a holder which was carved with 3 symbols. and upon inspection, you believe them to be marks from the Underrealm. None of you knew very much about this, but upon showing it to your paladin tiefling, you knew that they were something bad. You all saw that Leith Monroe had been doing something at the dark end of their garden, with 3 of the same symbols etched into the dirt around a small fire. Then, later on, having strolled much further around the town, not the tavern, you ran into 2 hooded people, also out that night, and having a low-voiced conversation. After approaching the pair and attempting to sneak up on them, you realised that one was the female assistant in the lower end of the town Tyre Temple, Debois. To your surprise, the hooded person talking with her turned out to be Peter, the innkeeper at the tavern Respite, who revealed his real name to be Vincent Poe. He said that he was a member of the secret order, the Ring, who trains to fight dark creatures, and he has been in the town of Stock for around 10 years since the Walden family went missing, because the Ring was alerted to the fact that there may be some dark magic going on around here. So after a fairly lengthy chat back at his tavern, you all parted company and went to bed, having gained only knowledge from Peter, well, Vincent, of one word, Oni. That is supposed to be the name of the monster terrorising the town of Stock. So, you guys awaken in the tavern. Redu and Swanee are still nose deep in books, so we will leave them be for the moment. So, it's fairly early in the day, probably about 9-10ish, simply because you got back quite late from your evening wandering. So, what do you guys fancy doing?
Forest.
Well.
Varric fancy.
Oh, wait, breakfast.
Oh, let's do breakfast first. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's have breakfast first.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, is Peter going to be up? He's going to be so tired. Let's go down and have a nice chat with Peter and have some breakfast, and I'll make him a nice cup of tea to wake him up.
Alright, so you head down into the downstairs of the tavern Respite, and you find that Joel and Peter are both behind the bar.
The therapist will be a little late coming. Got something he's doing first.
Oh,
Oh, please do it out loud. Can they hear you as they walk down the stairs? Please, oh please, oh please, oh please.
Yeah. So he's going to have set up his holy symbol in the corner of the room, along next to a bear claw that's been tied to his belt.
You kept playing with.
Yep.
Ooh.
He's going to set them next to each other, kneeling down before them, and he's going to quietly, but if people are close enough, they'll probably hear bits and pieces of it, start speaking. I, Vithartus, son of Greymane, swear to you, almighty Helm, where the greatest evil is found in this world, you shall find me battling it. No distractions will deter me from this path. The servants of darkness will win no mercy. My sworn foes will meet destruction. There is nothing that will prevent me from achieving the destruction of all evil. If the enemies of the light wreak destruction in this world, it is my sworn duty to exact bloody vengeance for those harmed. And he's going to put everything away, and then follow everyone down for breakfast.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
That's fucking epic.
Hell yeah, to the paladin tiefling.
As he catches up with us, I'm just going to kind of look back and shoot him a little salute and give him a little wink. Amazing.
Sorry, I had to make a pun in chat going, someone said hell yeah. I think he meant hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get it now. Very good.
out of the lot of us, I don't think Arissa would notice.
Arissa, if anything, you probably just thought he was like talking in his sleep or something.
Honestly, Varric wouldn't notice. Breakfast.
There's food on the menu.
Alright, so So you head on downstairs, and Peter and Joel, his assistant, are both pottering about. Joel is taking breakfast to a table over by the fire. There are a few open tables if you guys want to sit together, and Peter, as you know him, is just behind the bar.
Cool. I'm going to approach the bar and bid Peter a good morning. And I'm going to offer him a reviving cup of tea and say that he's looking a little bit tired and looks like he could do with a pick-me-up.
Oh, why, thank you. That's most kind of you. And he takes a sip from the last dregs of coffee that he was drinking and pours himself a cup of tea, which you pay for, and gladly sips it and leans over the bar and says, "And how are you this early in the day?"
Pretty well, thank you. Well rested. We're looking forward to one of your famous breakfasts, and I'll have a pint of your darkest ale, please.
Oh, what a fantastic way to start the morning. Yeah, I'll get on that for you right now. Joel, we're going to need another few breakfasts over here, and I believe an extra big one for the elf over there.
Probably for the best, yeah.
Marvellous. We'll get on that for you. Go, please, take a seat. I'll bring your drinks over.
Cool. I reckon we sit together in a corner and have a bit of a plan. What do you think?
I agree.
So,
Ooh.
looking at my notes from last time, we learned about the... Did you say it was an Oni, Rosie?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to spell it too.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
So I've got in my notes that that's the thing that's devouring creatures, and Vincent mentioned that it can take the shape of anyone during the daytime. And we had sort of mentioned that we might go and visit the temple again, but that's all I've got written down. I don't know why we're going to visit the temple.
The
think
lower
maybe-
temple was Higher Tom. He invited you back so that
Oh, that was
when he's
it.
handing out the potions that your money helped him buy, you can be thanked, essentially.
Because
you were asked. You don't necessarily have to go, of course.
But it's because Arissa, me, and Verti spent 100 gold in total.
Whilst I stood at the back going, doo 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 doo.
Yeah.
No, you entertained a child with your bird. It was really sweet.
That's true. I brought the gift of joy.
Oh yeah, I sent that kid some gold.
I just didn't want
Dude, that was so cute.
Did you see the picture I put on the video of the kid?
Oh, no,
missed
I've
it,
not
but I've
seen
got to
it.
go back and watch it.
That's okay. I'm going to put the picture up now. There's two.
Yeah.
There's... Because his name was Reese.
Reese, yeah.
It was Reese. Okay, here's Reese 1.
Oh, he's so cute.
Wait for Reese 2.
Oh my god. I'm actually
That's
feeling
amazing.
a photo right now. Oh, that's adorable.
I like to kill you with cute NPCs. It's great.
Oh, I love him. Cool. So I reckon options are visit the temple again so you guys can get all of the yays. I don't know, we could go and ask questions about this Oni maybe and see if we could identify it. I don't
But
know.
if nobody in
obviously-
town knows it, like,
Well,
the
there's
only two people who specifically know it are the people we've already spoken to.
That's what I mean. So maybe, like, we could ask, not say, do you know who is the Oni, but, like, whether we could find out if there was someone that was around during the day but went missing at night. Oh, didn't you say when you went to the Blue Door house that Liath was not there in the night time?
Yes, but on the other hand, Liath wasn't there when we broke in with all of us.
I know, and then she
She
did. But no
was in
kids
the
went
garden, though.
no kids went disappearing that night, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, did any kids go disappearing the night you broke in? No.
No,
Sure.
not that we know of.
No, okay.
Um,
I was getting ahead of myself. No worries.
Guys, do you
What?
remember Victor mentioned specifically that this thing can turn into anybody? Are we sure we want to go around town asking questions and informing it that we know about it?
yeah. The other thing is that we could possibly rule out Liath to a degree because I did use my ability to sense evil, and she was touched by evil rather than actually being a blazing, like,
Yeah.
Scary kid devouring
symbol of
creature.
darkness. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Although
Sorry, I
that
was
was
just
from a
getting
distance,
way-
so I could probably get a better read if I'm standing right next to her.
Are they still selling pies in the market? Because then we need to go to the market and I'll just buy more pies, and in the meantime you'll do your evil scan.
Well, to be honest, crowded places would be the best place for me to do that.
Yeah, that's
At
true.
the very least, it would limit our search to that area.
Ooh.
Ew.
So
Or
if they're
exclude a
hiding,
shit ton of people.
yeah. So if they're hiding in the market or if they're hiding
In the
like
temple.
in the temples, we would find them.
So we'll do the temple first because of the glory thing, and you'll scan it.
Well, I can do it 3 times a day, so I could.
I'd suggest temple and market because those are the two busiest places we've seen.
There's 2 temples though.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but the one
So-
the poor temple is way more busy than the rich temple, and it makes sense for us to be there.
And more poor people have gone missing.
Yeah,
The only other place I would consider doing it is maybe in the castle on
Or
the
the
upper floors.
Oh,
or
yeah,
the
that we
forest.
talked about going back to Warden Castle, hadn't we?
Well, we saw someone, more to the point, I saw someone on the upper floor when we left.
Okay,
And
so
I'm kind of curious that the castle's not as unoccupied as it's been made out to be.
well, and also the fact that there were rumors that it was like a portal to hell and badness. If Liath is doing like demony stuff in her garden, why wouldn't she go back to the Waldens to do demony stuff there as well?
That might be the only reason why it didn't happen when she did it in.
Yeah. Okay, so temple, maybe market, maybe Walden Castle,
I'd
and
skip
Barrack
the-
is keen to go to the forest.
I'd skip the market for now because if we
Yeah.
go to the, we should like go to the church and then try to get there as fast as possible in the castle because we can then find out more perhaps.
True.
Yeah. Well, the temple and the castle are right next to each other, pretty much. So.
And there's no point me trying to do a search for evil in the forest because it's going to be a big forest and I can only sense stuff by.
What's the radius of your detect
gets-
evil? How far does it go?
It gets a bit flaky after about 60 feet.
Okay, because so that I'm now looking at the map of stock. The poor temple is also near the guards barracks. There's nothing saying that this scary creature isn't transforming itself into a guard and then has freedom to move around the city.
True.
Yeah.
And we might want to skip by the barracks anyway. I'm kind of curious why the guards aren't just patrolling in force at night.
Yeah, that's true. And also, they probably have more wine for us because they think we're excellent, so that's always fun.
And they're
Yeah.
also on the way to the castle, so
So we'll go temple, barracks, castle.
Yeah, I'm up
me.
for that.
Okay.
Huh?
We could skip the entire market if we just take a right turn from Respite.
yep. The market
Yeah.
would be kind of flaky anyway. It's a rather large area.
Did we get given a time of what time they were going to do stuff in the temple? I can't remember.
I don't think you did actually, but for the sake of potential backtracking and argument, I would say it's about midday-ish, which gives
Okay.
you the rest of the morning, like another couple of hours to do stuff, and then
Barracks first.
as he said, he didn't say you needed to be there. He just said you were invited if you want to take your props and stuff.
I think these guys would like some glory, so you know, and well deserved, probably. So yeah, barracks, then temple, then castle.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
So, which order were you going that in? Was it Temple, Barracks, Castle, or Barracks, Temple? Now I'm confused.
Barracks, then temple, then castle.
Because then we'll be at the temple for the right time for these guys to get all the glory.
Alright, cool.
Get in. Be right back, guys.
Do I hear a
Oh, God, can you hear my cats fighting?
Aw.
Yeah.
So we haven't got Varric and Verti at the minute. Oh,
Hi.
no, wait. Hey, he's back.
Yeah, I was summoned.
You were summoned.
Well, you
Actually,
said we don't have Varric. So, obviously I return instantly.
Like when you mention stories, just thought it up.
He was demolishing a burger, so he's muted himself out of kindness.
Well, to be fair, you guys are eating breakfast right now, so it might work, character-wise.
That's true. Cool. So,
And I think I just put back to shame there. That burger is gone.
5 seconds later. Wow, my
Seconds.
friend.
Amazing.
Alright, so, what you guys gonna do?
I think I agree with the barracks, temple, and castle.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to ask Peter / Vincent anything before we go? Like, he's pretty much told us all he knows at the minute, hasn't he?
I think he's told us what he knows and what he suspects. I guess we could give him a heads up that we're going to check out the temple barracks and then head into the castle.
That's a good idea, and see his reaction, because he might have already checked those places, we don't know. If he's part of the
circle.
the ring, the secret order of the ring, he
Yep.
might actually have checked out the castle already.
Possible. And his help, Dubois, is actually in the temple, so...
That's true. Ow, I'm being attacked. My feet are being attacked by a vicious animal. Cool. Okay, so can we beckon Peter over?
Sure you can. And good morning to you. I trust you're all enjoying your breakfast.
It was amazing. Got demolished.
Varric, my dear chap, you appear to have some chocolate on your face.
Oh, thank you for the warning.
I kind of grab a napkin out of nowhere, start wiping.
Oh.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Cute.
So, what can I do for you fine fellas this morning?
Peter, we were thinking of going for a bit of a wander around the town after our late night discussions. We were thinking of going to the barracks and just having a bit of an ask around with the guards there. Do you see much of them patrolling in the night times, can we ask?
Not a great deal, to be honest. I mean, not a great deal more than usual. Not a lot they could do, of course, really. So it's probably for the best. But get the impression they're not really inclined to do it.
Yes, I'm surprised that they're not showing a greater presence, especially seeing as it's children that are going missing.
You'd think that if the people were in such a state of panic about it, they'd be tearing the floors and the walls and even the castle apart for the...
Well, the fact that we're a band of strangers and we seem to be more bothered than them is quite surprising.
They're fucking scared.
Well, we obviously take a lot more to scare.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah. That goes without saying, I think, fellas and ladies.
Um, Once we have gone to the barracks, dear Peter, we're thinking of heading over to the temple and maybe asking a few gentle questions there again. But our main mission this morning, we're thinking of heading over to the Walden Castle. Have you been there in the 10 years that you've been here in Stock?
Not for the last few, no. When I first got assigned here, of course, that was the main reason for it. Went into the castle, had a little look around. Didn't go into the dungeon, mind. Got through the door and, well, the floor was collapsing, so I didn't really bother. Figured anything dark down there would have a job getting out. But, went around a couple of the floors, poked around a bit, found some people sleeping rough, some dust, a load of cobwebs. The place had been ransacked, to be honest with you. And this was a few months after the Waldens and all their staff had disappeared, taking most of their guards with them. That might actually account for some of it, of course. The Walden guards didn't just guard the castle, they guarded some of the town as well. So of course when they all went missing, that took down a good 40% of the town's guards. Don't think they've ever quite managed to catch back up with themselves again.
That would explain some why we've been able to wander around the streets without walking straight into a patrol.
And it sounds like the current state of money flowing through this place doesn't allow for more guards to be employed.
I would probably agree with you there. I try not to poke into money business myself. It tends to get you in with the rather unsavoury folks. But it wouldn't surprise me if people hadn't been keen to recruit themselves up to be new guards, given what happened to the old ones. Well, who knows what happened to the old ones?
Has there been no sign of them whatsoever?
Nope. The entire household staff, including the guards, all disappeared, as far as we can tell, same time as the Walden family.
That's
But,
strange considering we only found the remains of the family. Nothing.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, actually. So you're sure no household, no guards, no one else was down
No.
there with them?
Any other bodies were a heck of a lot more recent.
And a lot of them seem to be more well dressed than just, castle guards.
That is
Although there were piles of weapons and things down there when we were looking for our own items.
Oh, they might have been taken off the prisoners as they went down, of course. I hear the guards leave them in a pile down there to go to rust. And, laughingly, if anyone gets out, they're welcome to have their own weapons back. Of course, I don't think they ever thought anyone would. Suppose you proved them wrong there.
It was mighty useful to find weapons immediately after getting out of there.
Yes, I had missed my iron pot and shovel very much.
Ah, the things people miss, eh?
So do you think it would be an interesting day for us to end up there, or do you think we would find nothing but dust and maybe a few vagabonds sleeping rough?
Well, not wanting to sound like, hello, my name's Peter and I'll be your tour guide for today. I mean, by all means, have a look. I mean, I can't say I was very thorough. I did have a poke about. Couldn't find anything that seemed particularly dark or dangerous at the time. Doesn't mean that things won't have changed or moved about. Perhaps the ceiling's collapsed in the last 10 years and you'll be able to find something that I couldn't. By all means, I wouldn't discourage you. I'd say take care, but I don't suppose I need to tell you that.
Out of curiosity, apart from the main city gates, are there any other ways clearly in and out of the banner stock?
Not that I've found so far, but again, doesn't mean there aren't. Quite interested if you did find any, to be honest.
Might be worth poking around in that regard too.
That is a good point. I've had a poke around a lot of the walls, of course. Couldn't find anything there. But if you're going to have a secret passage, it'd be a pretty stupid place to put it to come right up under the side of the tower that you're trying to get past. I'll have a think.
Alright. I think that covers most things. Felicity, Varric, Marissa?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, can I get a refill?
Of course you can, little darling. Any boys one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can ask him. Theratas is face palming right now.
If you are going up to the temples, just do take care, given what, and he sort of leans in here, given what you found there last night, I'd avoid the leader's house unless you're sure you know what you're doing.
Well, we know what we're doing in there. We know the way around that house.
Varric, I don't think that's what he was meaning.
No. Yeah, I don't think we plan to go back there on this day at least.
Yeah, perhaps tonight.
I thought you wanted to spend the night in the Greenwoods.
Yeah, but I'm not that much of an idiot that I'd go at it alone.
Cool. Thanks, Peter.
Not a problem, guys and dolls. I've still got rooms for you this evening, if you still want them. Not that you'll be sleeping in them much, of course. And the two upstairs reading are more than welcome to stay.
Do save the rooms for us.
Oh, don't worry, they're set aside. I've also put a first aid kit in one of them, just in case.
That's very thoughtful of you, thank you. Fabulous. I suggest that we finish up our last bits of delicious breakfast and head on out.
Alright, so you guys are going to be heading to the barracks first, yes?
Yeah, please.
Alrighty. Did you want to go any particular way, or are we just avoiding the market? Or are you going to walk through, just not stop?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Well, we might piss off that guy that doesn't like the tiefling. Well, I tell you what, maybe let's swing by the market and just keep an eye out to see if Liath and Moscule are there selling anything different today. I'd be interested to know what their movements are. We've got agreed typed for people that are eating.
Yeah, that's like half of you eating now. Sorry, the Theratas are eating.
I'm back.
Hi. Should we swing by the market and just check?
Back.
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Arisi with it?
Going?
Swinging past the markets on the way.
Just to see if the leaders are there selling anything today, or if they're,
Ooh,
tucked
pie.
away in bed because she's been up late doing naughty things.
And to boot, if we do see her, keep a good eye on how she's acting.
That's a good idea. See if she's got any, like, horns poking out of her head. Oh, no offense.
The therapist is just raising an eyebrow at you right now.
Does he even have
I'm
one?
gonna quite enthusiastically slosh back the very last bit of my ale and accidentally pour it all over my face and down my chest.
Oh, Prissity. I get another napkin out of nowhere.
Thanks, human.
Welcome.
Cool.
Ooh, I may have just realized the business model from Arissa's trick with the napkin. Street magic!
Well, we're all a bit magic now. That was a word, right? So we can
Yeah.
actually do some street magic. I can make lights appear randomly.
I can make a
don't-
person my target and then attack them.
That's not magic. That's mean.
No, it's a specific magic.
Oh, I've got mage hand. I can move things around without people seeing. Ooh, let's go to the market. I want to try that out. I want to see something.
Can you steal me a pie?
Yeah, honey. Let's go.
I think you both need supervision.
Well, that's okay. You come with us, and I'll just quietly steal things. Right, I'm going to check what mage hand has.
As you're
Suddenly, I like electricity more.
I am
Anyone
keen
who
to
can
do
get
some
him
sneaky
closer to
sneaky with my magic, so hang on. Mage hand. Right, let's start walking to the market whilst I read my spell.
So, you guys exit the tavern respite, having had a hearty breakfast, and several either jugs of mead or ale or wine or juice or water or coffee or tea or herbal concoctions, whatever it is you fancied that morning, provided by the lovely Peter. You head down the road and turn towards the market, and as you're walking, you do catch sight of the now familiar queue of mothers and sons queuing outside the slightly poorer temple, the more run-down one where you met Haya, Tom and Debois, and you see them all queuing up outside, ready to go in. And you get down towards the market, and it's not bustling, but it's fairly busy. There's a few people there, quite a few stalls are open. It's fairly early on in the day, and everything just seems to be starting up. But there's a lot of people around there. So, what you gonna do?
I think walk on through and keep our eyes peeled for either anything suspicious or anyone we recognize.
Oh, what's your order, by the way? So who's at the front, who's at the back, who's on lookout, etc., etc.
I'm on lookout.
I'm on the back.
I'll be in the middle.
I'll be leading the way, apparently. Because I'm the most inconspicuous one here.
Well, you part the crowds for us.
Absolutely.
Get through
With
places
the-
quite quickly.
Flamey red and black tiefling striding ahead, parting the crowds, leading the way. Varric stealthily walking just ahead of Arissa, behind Bertie. Arissa floating along, looking around with a big beam on her face, and Apricity bringing up the rear, all stealthy and looking around at all these humans.
Nice.
In the slap gun.
Can we see the leaders or anything from where we are?
You can't see them right now. You can roll a perception if you want to see if they're around as you're going through.
Oh,
I'll have a look.
Sorry.
hang on, I've got a cat on my
I'll have
staff.
a look as well.
Six.
Good. I'm so glad. That would be 17.
Oh, I thought you said 7.
No, it's not lucky 7. Though, if I didn't get advantage, that would have been a 1.
Alright. You can't see Leith Monroe, but you do spot Mostal Moscoul. Sorry, I do like that name. Mostal Moscoul. The portly gentleman who is quite short, rotund, with thinning hair, and a sour face in a sour expression that you recognise. And you see him leaning against one of the market stalls, having a conversation with one of the traders.
I wave cheerily at him.
He lowers his brows and continues his conversation.
How rude! Didn't even wave back.
I'm gonna send Warmin down to just give you a little tweak on the ear to and chirp in your ear to kind of cheer you up for his rudeness.
Aww.
Beautiful. So we don't want to talk to him or anything, do we? Because He's not going to help us with anything right now.
Well, we could ask, just fairly ask him.
What if his leader friend is the Oni?
If he's involved in any kidnapping, quite literally.
You are very welcome to go and ask that question.
I don't believe we're here to start fights, really.
Yeah. He's gonna get kicked out of the city.
Is it an option to stealthily ask it and like hide the fact that I was the one asking it?
I think only some of our magic users can pull that kind of stunt.
Well, so it wouldn't be possible to hide in the people around him at the market. DM?
Yes.
Is it a possibility to like use stealth and approach that muscle guy and ask him a question without him knowing it's me?
Can I interrupt? I have a suggestion. I don't know if it'll work. Now that Warman is a familiar, she can mimic anything that she hears. So if you wanted to ask her the question, she could then fly behind him and whisper it to him, and we could watch his reaction whilst he talks to this other guy.
Cool.
Would
Let's
that
do
work?
You can certainly try.
Oh, let's try that.
So who is he? Is he talking to a man?
Yes.
Okay. So could one of the male folks ask the question that they want to Warman,
Yeah, of course.
and then she can go and whisper it behind him, and he won't know the question?
Would it be a good idea for it to be someone who spoke to him? Just in case he recognizes the voice, is able to place it.
Can I do performance to do a male voice?
Oh, yes! Oh, shit. Stuff on my thing.
Do performance.
That sounds awesome. Do that. Could you... Oh, this is getting way complicated for a thing that probably isn't going to work. Could you use your performance to imitate the voice of the guy who is talking to him right this second, and then whisper it to the bird, and then the bird flies over and does it to him?
I think I can do that.
I think you could too.
26?
DM?
Yeah, alright. Go for it.
Like, awesome. What do we want to ask him? You just want to say, so have you been involved in any child kidnapping recently? Is that what you want to ask?
Is that what he needs to ask you?
Or do we want to ask more specifically about the possible dark magics that have been involved in that fold?
Yeah, that's probably better.
Okay, so can someone type me the question so that I can say it?
Okay.
Big voice.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Varric's
yeah,
type.
the voice you put on
Figure that
now
out.
has to be as good as the 26 you rolled. I haven't made you made up a song yet, don't worry.
Oh yeah.
It'll happen.
Right, there's a lot of typing from Varric going on.
Oh god.
Probably gonna be, have you got any more pies?
That's what he wants me to ask.
Varric, I'll steal
Yeah,
you some.
don't let Varric be involved in deciding what question gets asked.
I was tempted to do that.
Are you or is that Leia?
Yeah.
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 Leah. All the children.
Maybe just say, oh, I don't know. Say something like, because that's quite accusatory. Maybe say something like,
Isn't the
No,
idea...
children.
are the rumours of dark magic true? Or do you know what I mean? Like, maybe
Yeah,
not.
but isn't it like the idea to accuse him of it without him knowing it's us, and then watching his reply?
Yeah, right. Damn it. Let's go for it.
That was my.
That's
That
the
was why I
attitude I
typed
like.
it this way.
Okay.
I've got a pint of ale. Fucking do what you want.
Oh, wait, quick technical thingy,
Go on.
Verti. I
Yes.
keep getting a ping of over 100,
Oh,
and then lag spikes down to 300, and then dropping to 1.
else? Or is it? Sorry.
250 now.
Oh, is Troy having a drink?
Bear with me for just a microsecond. Just jumped us, so we should be good now.
And we're in Russia again.
Nope.
We're in
Europe.
European Central. Woo.
Almost home.
Is that what you're trying to do?
It's called a world travel. It's the only way of traveling the world I can afford right now. Well, that and Google Earth.
Oh, so are we ready for this stupid stunt?
Let's do it.
Cool. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
call
put-
Warmin down and get her to sit on Arissa's shoulder and tell her that she needs to listen.
Okay.
Ow.
Sorry. Arissa, go.
Are you or Leith involved in any dark magics or the children disappearing?
Yeah, I'll give that a 26. Why not?
Yay! Cool.
Yes.
I'm then gonna point Varmin in the direction of Moscule.
Alright. She spreads her wings, gives you a nod of understanding, and flaps off. And hovers just behind where Mostal Moscule is standing. And she leans in her beak close to just behind his head. And you see her beak moving, but you don't hear what she says from this far away.
Oh, good, I don't have to do it again.
Yes, please.
And
Oh, actually, we can't hear her, so.
yeah, that's true. But as Wyman flies back over to you, you see the question dawn on Mostal Moscule, and you see him whip around to look to see who asked him. And I won't make you roll perception for it because it's fairly easy to read at this point. He looks confused, slightly irritated, and surlier than usual.
Would this be an insight check?
Can do.
Yes.
Oh, go for it. I'm gonna do one too.
Everybody in sight.
I got good in.
I got a 1! Not that. Rolled a
That's got a
2.
2.
Yay!
I rolled a 17, so that helps.
Oh, hang on.
17 plus
Okay.
8, whatever that is. I can't do math.
Many.
26?
Oh, sorry. I get
25, I
better
think.
than that.
Oh, 25.
Yeah,
I told you I
it's
can't do
25.
math, sorry.
Actually,
Yay! Thanks, guys.
I
You're
get
my...
lucky 7, actually.
Oh, yay! Just for a change.
I was impressed with my 25.
So, Varric and Apricity, you can tell that this question has sort of stumped him, and insulted him, and confused him. Arissa, this guy has never looked so innocent to you in your entire life.
Well,
The
that
third
settles it.
house, this guy looks shifty.
Okay. Cool. Well, that was pretty cool. Thank you guys for letting me use my familiar for the first time.
That was cool.
Whilst we're still in the market, can I have a quick look around? Oh, I'm gonna sidle up to Varric and say, dude, what food looks good to you?
Can I just point to the closest stand selling any food at all?
That.
Not just pointing at a specific food, but just making a motion across the entire stand with my arm.
DM, what can I see that looks maybe small and easily missed, but that might satisfy a half-elf for a little while?
I'm gonna say you can see like a small baguette-sized like roll.
Cool. So with my new mage hand,
My turn.
With my mad
I have
hand
magic
show.
hand.
mad hand.
Magic hand.
Every time I use it, I'm gonna say it like that now. So,
Please do it.
normal magic hand is not
Yes.
invisible, but for a rogue arcane trickster, the mage hand is actually invisible. So I'm gonna cast my mage hand cantrip, and I'm gonna try and steal a roll from the stall. So it says I can retrieve an object. So I guess it goes invisible. It doesn't say.
I was gonna say, yeah. Does the thing
It's
itself?
probably a floating bread roll.
Well, it says you can perform one of these, so I can do like 3 different things, and it says you can perform one of these tasks without being noticed by a creature if you succeed on a dexterity sleight of hand check contested by the creature's wisdom or perception check. So if I roll sleight of hand, then
Yep,
hopefully I
you
might
do
be
it.
able to steal this roll. Yeah?
Let's roll against a poor lowly NPC's wisdom. Yeah, I think you got it.
So 17 total with my
Yeah, he
sneaky
had like a
magic
6.
hand.
So
Yeah?
the magic hand works. The guy does not notice a small bread roll go flying, potentially invisible, potentially not, off the edge of his stool and into your outstretched hand.
Awesome. I'm going to hand it to Varric and just grin and carry on moving through the market.
Thank you very much, and I take a bite.
Gotta keep my new friend sweet.
There is some jam on the stall
Thank
next
you,
door to it if
friend.
you want to steal that and make him sweet raw.
There's what?
There's jam. Do you like
on the
jam,
next
Elf?
stall over.
Ooh.
The half elves
Yes.
like jam?
Yes, I do.
He likes everything.
Well,
Is it
I'll be
edible?
the-
I like it.
I got a 5 total for the jam, so I don't know what that means. Uh-oh.
They'll see it flying away.
Uh-oh.
Blame the ghosts of the Waldens.
Oh, well, they rolled a 3, and random NPC's wisdom isn't exactly great, so I'm going to say that you just get away with the jam. You do knock over another pot of jam as you go, but it doesn't smash. It just starts rolling off the edge of the table, and so the stall owner dashes to catch it, thinking it just tipped or something, and he doesn't notice the jam jar go sailing past him.
Oh my gosh. Cool.
Now I want jam. Thanks.
Handing the jam over to the half elf and moving very quickly away from the stall that I nearly got caught stealing from.
Thank you. I'll just take my time spreading the jam across the bread.
Are you gonna use your dagger for that, or are you just gonna dunk the bread in the jam?
Probably the dagger, because well, I have it. Why not use it?
I just have this cute image of you walking down the street dunking your bread in a jar of jam.
Okay, yeah, that image is good enough to convince me. I'll dunk it.
Haha, DM meddling. Alright, so you carrying on through the market. Does anyone else want to stop to look at anything else, or look for anything else, should I say?
I'm gonna keep an eye out for anyone that's basically just people watching, looking
Okay.
slightly out of place.
And
Yeah.
your detect evil just works automatically, doesn't it? Or do you have to announce it now?
Let me have it. I have to. It's kind of like a spot, good or evil.
Alright.
Anything extremely good, anything extremely.
Okay.
Um,
Well, let me know when you've got that in your brain, and I will inform you that's you.
Could I have a quick look around some of the stalls?
Oh, of course you can.
And is there anywhere that looks like it might sell any potions? I appreciate that we're in stock, so it's not very magical. But
You wouldn't be able to find any magical potions, no. You might be able to find healing things, but again,
Oh,
it
okay.
wouldn't be magical healing. It would be more like
Herbs.
tonic or herbs. Yeah.
Ooh, I want to
Yeah.
look for that as well.
Yeah, so basically I'm interested in finding some healing things because I can't heal myself yet. So I'd like to have a look around for some herbs or tonic or something that might heal me in a dire situation. Please.
Alrighty. You have a look around, and there aren't too many stalls selling things like that, but you do find one very small stall owned by a sort of old, haggard-looking woman. And if you were living in several centuries ago Britain, you might call her like a hag or a witch, but she is definitely human and doesn't appear magical. And she's got some like bottles and jars, and they've got like formulas and potiony looking things in them, but when you get closer up to them, it's more like things that you drink or rub on a wound as opposed to a healing draft.
Can I check to see if I see anything that like I'm familiar with, that I know works especially well or especially bad?
You see there's quite a few herbs she's got dotted about the place, sort of hanging up. You can recognise some are different types of grass, different types of flowers. You do see a bunch of, they look like basil leaves, but they're actually like a type of herb that you've seen in the forest quite a few times. And if you use them with a binding, it can help to stop bleeding and things.
Ooh. How much for that specific thing? Like pointing at the thing you just explained.
The lady looks up and then back at you. Ah, so silver for a bunch, copper for a single stem.
I'll buy 2 silvers worth of it, then.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'd like the same, please.
2 silvers, that will be.
Cool. I'll hand it over with pleasure.
Alright, you guys now have 2 bunches of herbs, and their exact purpose is that when you're bleeding, if you put them on the wound and you bandage it, it helps you to heal quicker. So essentially, you can use it for healing. Dun dun.
Cool, thank you.
Just a quick question, DM. Have I noticed
Yes.
any children in the market?
Actually, no. There's very few children out and about in general. There is one young boy who's like being kept very close to his mother while she's shopping and putting things in her basket.
Okay. I'm gonna nudge Apricity and Barry. There's very little in the way of children around here. Perhaps what we're seeking picks its targets elsewhere.
Yes, I agree. It's quite few children. So yeah.
Vitheritas, do you think that this creature is selecting specific children?
Well, it's, as far as we've been able to tell from what we've been told, only specifically attack children. So it must know which houses that they live in, rather than searching randomly.
What the
Needs to.
thing Victor said is that it's easily distracted by scent, so its sense of scent is probably really strong, and that's how it finds children then.
You know how it finds the children? It bloody smells the thing that Higher Tom has been No, which is the bad one, or the not so good one?
The one who runs the
richer one.
rich temple.
Something begin with an L, isn't it?
That was, let me just check I'm telling you the right name.
Sorry.
Volson Creek.
Volson Creek, that was him. Volson Creek is giving a special scented bloody thing to people and telling them to open it next to their child's bed. What
Yeah,
if?
I think I would have gone missing.
But that's why it helps protect, because the scent is so strong. The Oni gets distracted from taking the kid.
What? So it can't smell the children? You mean?
Yeah, because of the strong scent, it's wait.
Please do.
Arissa,
What?
yes, you can roll to smell to see if you smell a potpourri.
Alright. I got a
What?
6.
A 6.
Are you rolling to smell yourself?
No, just because I drank the potion.
Oh, you did.
You drank the potion, yes. And sadly, this was where our audio cut out online. It went down for a few minutes and we couldn't really get it back. So we've stopped our session here in the market and we'll pick up again in the same place next time. Thanks for listening. Bye!